Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Magic Mondays with Meg. And I have a very special guest here, which is over to when I'm pointing to my left, but he's on my right, Ryan from Disney Pins blog. So welcome, Ryan.
Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone.
Of course. Yeah, I
I'm
think
happy to be here.
a lot of people have been really excited about this. I have a friend that has been sending messages all day. So, and he was very excited for this. So,
Awesome. I'm excited
yeah.
to be here.
Well, thanks for
Let's
being
talk
here.
pins.
Yes, let's talk pins. It was so funny because a couple weeks ago, I did it with my friend Donna. I don't know if you met Donna Jaworski before, but she's a huge pin collector. She has like 4,000, 5,000 pins in her
Dang,
collection. Yeah,
more than me.
she has a lot of pins. But people were like, "Wow, you guys are really animated when you talk about pins." I'm like, "Well, we love pins."
I know you got to get excited about it.
Yeah. So I'm going to go through quickly and just say hi to the chat, and then you could tell everyone a little bit about your YouTube channel and your blog and website and everything.
All right.
Yeah, so hi, Sam, Christine, James Ryan, Surfer Girl, Captain Akron. WDW Dave says, I've been waiting for the next pin stream. Ooh. Lawrence Travels, Gary B, Wendy. Oh, it just jumped. Triple P, hey Josh, Patrick, Zibbity Doodad, Michelle, Pete McDevitt, Stacey Rogers, Nathan, Annie, Avery, Samantha Lowe, oh, I said you, Jonathan Chong, Holly, Leanne, hello, Emily, Echo Arts, Pigletruski, Karen Cook, Donna Jaworski, Mary Spence, Alyssa Stenberg, Myers in the Mouse, hey Kelly, Lana Stone, Nick Gates, Mrs. Darling, Lady Jamers. I think everyone's popping over from Steve. So if we end up missing you, just let us know by tagging us in the chat. And I want to quickly start talking about pins because I know that we just love pins. So Ryan, do you want to tell people? You want to tell people?
You have a lot of friends here.
Well, we have 46 people right now, and
nice.
yeah, well, I'm sure we'll get a few more hopping in because there's so many people in the community that really love Disney pins, or they're interested in learning more about Disney pin training if they're new to it. So Lawrence Travel says, we love pins. We really do. We love pins. So do you want to let people know about what Disney Pins blog is?
Yeah, yep. Disney Pins blog is a website I started a little over 7 years ago. I mainly made it for myself. I was down here in Florida on a trip, and I noticed pins, and I became addicted to them. I loved them. And whenever I came back home from that trip, I didn't really find much information online about new releases and such. I thought the information was kind of all over the place. You had Paris and Studio Store Hollywood, the parks, Shop Disney. At the time, they weren't really releasing many pins, but there wasn't a centralized location for everything. You had PinPix, which is a database, of course, but there wasn't a central location for pin news. So I was like, why don't I just create a little blog here for myself so we can, keep up to date with the pin news. And then it kind of took off from there. The site I kept adding new things to it, piecing it together. I had a few events here in Florida that benefit to Give Kids the World. And the site just kept expanding, and now here we are today. And yeah, it's like basically takes up majority of my life, but yeah. I love it. I love keeping up with everything, so it's exciting. I met a lot of cool people from it as well.
Yeah, the Disney pin community is pretty awesome. Kelly sent Myers in the Mouse $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Mama and I sending the grad pin money. Yay, pins. Thank you so much, Kelly. And also welcome everyone who's just popping in. We have Ryan from Disney Pins blog. And it's just super cool that you're here. I'm very excited.
Thank you again. Again, this is my first live stream, everyone. I live streamed before on Instagram, but never on YouTube. So this is exciting.
Yeah, and there's so much that you can learn now.
Yeah.
So I think there are some new pin traders out there. So if you want to give some advice, or maybe we could start with what kind of pins can you trade in the park or out of the park? Yep.
So for advice for starting out, I just kind of took what people told me at the beginning, and that was just focus on a attraction or collection that you like, because they release so many pins every single every single week, every single day. It's hard to keep up with everything. There's so many releases, and there's already over 100,000 pins in that have been made. So it's hard to, people in the beginning, they want to start collecting everything. I was guilty of that. I just like, when I was first on my trip, I was like, I want everything. Which it gets crazy, it gets out of control. So like I started to simplify my collection and just focus on things I really like attractions like Tower of Terror, Pirates of the Caribbean. Those are my top two. And then I have a lot of little side characters that I like to collect, like Peter Pan and Baymax. So yeah, just really focusing on what you like. There you go.
My little faded Mickey is right there.
Oh, nice, the pixelated one. I love that. But yeah, like even if you have like a rare character, eventually there'll be a pin that comes out that you could find of it.
Yeah.
As far as tradable pins in the parks, that I get this question still every single day. A lot of people, even every time I post a Box Launcher Hot Topic pin, I always get a question if they're tradable in the parks, like even the new Artland pins that just came out. And a lot of times I think, like, I know there's a lot of newbies out there, but a lot of times I think, like, why would you want to trade that pin in the parks, you know? But yeah, people want to make sure they're getting something legit, that's something that's real, and they think that if it's legit and real, then it can be traded in the park. But in reality, as long as it has the Disney copyright on the back, it's an official Disney pin. Box Launch, Hot Topic, Artland, Acme, those are all licensed pins, but they're still official Disney pins. The only ones that have the official pin trading logo on the back are ones that come from the parks. And sometimes Shop Disney, because they release park pins as well. But yeah, really anything that has that Disney copyright in the back can be traded in the parks. That's in the official Disney pin trading etiquette. Like Disney posted that. So I just remind people all the time of that anytime I post something that's licensed. And another thing is too, whenever I post pins that aren't officially that aren't official park pins, people sometimes think they're fake or they're fantasy pins, but that's not the case. Yeah, it just has to have that Disney copyright in the back when you're good to go.
Awesome. And Donna Jaworski sent a super chat. Thank you so much, Donna. This is so awesome. I actually had the pleasure of meeting Ryan at Epcot with you, your mom, Haley, Corey, Meg. It was an incredible.
Oh, nice.
I forgot about that, actually.
Wait, that was like the last trip, right? We're like in America. Pavilion.
Yeah, we were. It was back in like August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember that because I remember when I met up with you and Corey and Haley.
Yeah. Donna, cool. I forgot that you were there. I'm so sorry. So Donna, you obviously met Donna then.
Yeah, I met Donna.
and Jesse said I missed last week's eyebrows, Meg. So last week, one of my friends and I, we did a Darth Sidious makeup, and I glued my eyebrows down to do makeup. So I came onto the stream and I was like missing my eyebrows. So.
Oh, dang.
Oh, and Arjan's was there too. Yes, exactly. Well, Donna, thank you so much for the super chat. So I guess another question then is so like, obviously we know that we don't want to spend $10, $12, $15 on one single pin and then trade it in the park. So where can people find cheaper pins to trade if they want to trade at the park?
And make sure they're legit.
Yeah, and make sure they're legit Disney pins.
Yeah. Not
those lots off of eBay where it's like $25 for 50 pins or whatever it is.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely a beginner mistake. People always go directly to eBay or even Amazon. You can find lots on there. Mm-hmm. They're all fake though, like $25, $50 lots. But yeah, they're all fake. The cheapest way to get it, really, I think, the outlets here in Orlando, you can get really, really cheap real pins. But if you aren't near Orlando or visiting one of the outlets, online Facebook groups, a lot of times people are dumping their collections. You can get cheap pins that way. Even Box Lunch Hot Topic, they'll run deals where you can get pins for like $6, $7. That's a great way to get into the hobby and have real pins to trade in the parks. So yeah, there's lots of options. It's difficult. Oh, hey, there's Melissa. What's up, Melissa?
Oh yeah, those pins lots are definitely sketchy.
Yeah, they are.
And Tina said, head over to Ryan's YouTube channel after this. Please make sure to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. So thanks, Tina.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, so I picked up this pin, which is a limited edition pin for $6.99 or $7.99 at one of the outlets. So like this is a limited edition pin. They have like open edition pins like this sometimes for like $3.99, $4.99.
Yeah.
So I tend to pick. Oh, awesome! Patrick just subscribed. Yeah, guys, please go check out the channel. Also, Ryan just had a really big move. So, do you want to tell everyone where you moved to?
Yeah, I just moved to Orlando actually. For those of you who don't know, I was based in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So I made my way down here to Orlando for a job, and it worked out perfectly because now I can go to parks a lot and continue growing DPB.
Yeah. Lauren, I actually got the same. She had the Shanghai grand opening pins for $1.99. I actually got those as well from the outlet. And then I saw a bunch of people trading them in the parks too. So I was like, oh, a lot of people are subscribing. Awesome. Thanks, guys. And Donna said she got Disney Marathon pins at the Character Warehouse for $1.99 to $6.99. So exactly. And also I had another bag somewhere here, but DPP for life.
Thanks.
You could use mystery pins too. So like you could get sealed mystery pin bags.
Oh yeah.
Pretty inexpensive. I never want to really collect those pins. So I ended up
that's probably the cheapest way if you're in parks and if you can't get over to the outlets.
Yeah.
That's the cheapest real pins you could get, or the booster pin packs, or the collectible pin packs, and the mysteries.
Yeah.
Get those, even the little hidden Mickey pouches. Those end up usually be like $7 a pin, so not bad.
Yeah. And let's see. We talked about cheap pins. Do you have like a specific place besides the outlets? How about in the park? Or I know that right now only World of Disney is really open, but you have like a favorite place to buy pins? Because I know I definitely do.
Yeah, my favorite place to buy pins is actually Epcot. Because that's my favorite park. I always loved Pin Central, but that's gone now. So the new Pin Trader store, it's still pretty nice. There's a big selection there. And Disney Springs, of course, I love. That's the largest pin store on property. Disney's Pin Trader's there, which still is closed. I'm not sure why, but hopefully they open soon.
Yeah. That is so strange. I mean, I guess I could kind of understand that it's not that small, but it's also not that big.
Right. I feel like they could limit how many people go inside, and they have the social distancing markers around the little hut. So like I feel like they're going to be opening soon, but and even if they don't want to release limited edition pins, I mean they could still just keep the everything else in there. Just get rid of the limited editions for now, because I know those big and there's bring in bigger crowds. So.
So Lauren asked, did you ever get to visit Theme Park Connection?
No, I didn't. I wanted to, though. I think I went once and they were closed.
Oh.
But I would love to go.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like any of those cool stores would be awesome to visit one day.
Yeah.
So I know.
I did go to the cast member store one time, though. That was fun. Yeah, that was cool.
That's awesome. We actually have a couple people that are cast members in the chat. Like I see Kelly from the Mickey Bunch. Kelly's a cast member. Hey, Melissa, welcome. Hey, Jeff, Dole Whip Dad, Chris Blue Nose. So welcome, everyone. And yeah, so I just like seeing what they get from the store too. So.
Oh, I know. I love the cast member pins. They're great.
Yeah. So I know a big topic in the Disney pin trading community are scrapper pins. So I don't know if you want to explain like what a scrapper pin is, how is it different than like an authentic Disney pin, and how are some ways that you could tell what a scrapper pin is versus an authentic Disney pin?
Yeah, so a scrapper pin is just a fake pin. It's not real, like wasn't authorized by Disney. Usually the factory just keeps the mold and they either sell it off or they illegally make the pins, but in a cheaper form. So they aren't up to Disney standards. They aren't regulated by Disney. Then they sell them kind of like on a black market to eBay sellers, and even some stores here in Orlando I've seen sell scrapper pins before. So Yeah, it's a weird market, but it happens. Yeah, usually the biggest things with scrapper pins is it feels light, that the metal is thinner, the coloring is off. Like Megan, you're showing there's dips in the paint. It should be smooth, flat surface. You should still feel the little
I have a real
the metal
here too. Like if you see this pin, like you could, yeah. And then so that's a real, you could see.
Yep. And a lot of times you can feel the metal etching, like where the enamel cavities are. You should be able to feel the metal. I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly, but like the metal etching, like you rub your nail across the pin, and it should be jagged, like kind of jaggedy. It shouldn't be smooth right across, or have like massive dips in the paint. So yeah, thin metal, bad coloring, dips in the paint, jagged edges. Are the authentic ones gold plated?
So I know that
it depends.
Yeah, that's kind of a tricky question. This one's definitely not authentic, but I know some of the older pins I have they are authentic Disney pins, and they do have, they're gold plated, and some of them.
It depends on the series, the collection. Some could be silver tone finish, some could be gold tone finish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know some of them, like a lot of people say like it needs to have the Mickey waffling on the back. Well, some of them don't. So it's really hard to like. There are a lot of videos out there about what a scrapper pin looks like, but there are some things like it's really hard to go to a cast member and just like, hey, can I inspect your pin?
Right.
So that's really tricky when you're actually trading in the park.
Oh, for sure. There's so many times when I'm in the parks trading, like it's so hard to tell a scrapper pin. I've traded so many. I'm like, then once I get it from the customer, I look at it close. I'm like, okay, it's a scrapper. I'll trade it back.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, like, hey, they gave it to me, so But there's a couple other things too. Like I remember some people said back in the day, like the magnet test, that doesn't work. Testing with a magnet, and if it sticks, it's fake or something. I forget which way, but I've done that before with real pins. That's not true. And then also there's a border around the Mickey waffle print around the pin.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's true. Sometimes it isn't. I've gotten pins before that actually have a border around the Mickey waffle print. So that's not a clear indication.
Yeah. So this is actually a pin that it's one of those sweater pins I'm just like pulling out. So this actually has the gold plated back. No Mickey waffling. I'm trying to find one with like the bad Mickey waffling, but
gotta get that little border around it.
Yeah. And sometimes, I mean, like on pins that I have just pulled out of a bag or a box, I'm like, this, I know that this is an authentic pin because I literally just pulled it out from like me buying at the park. So Holly said, I hear the border thing is only relevant for hidden Mickey pins. I'm not sure about that. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never heard that one before. Maybe.
And Lauren said
also the fat Mickey heads. Did you ever get the fat Mickey head
for a hidden Mickey pin? I don't know if
sometimes like a blob. It doesn't even look like a hidden Mickey. It's like a blob of silver.
I kind of want to check. I have like a bag of scrapper pins that I'm like very interested now. This one kind of looks like a blob. Let me. So in this, you could present your too. So if you see that one, that's just kind of a blob. And you could see. I know that on
what a mess.
It's just blah.
Yeah, that's a mess.
Yeah. So you will see things like that in the park. Do you have any suggestions for people that may have traded one? I know a lot of people will use it for like crafts or.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before. I'm not crafty though, so I can't.
So do yours just like sit around?
So I have a few. They aren't even here with me in Florida. I left them back in Pittsburgh, but some of the ones I'll just trade back to cast members in the park. Like if I'm in the park that day, I'll trade them back. I don't want them. But other ones I I've given them to my dentist before. She had a little daughter who wanted to collect pins. She like never left to Florida, so I just gave them to her. Like she doesn't,
Yeah.
doesn't care about fake pins or what. But yeah, I know some people make crafts out of them, which is cool. You can do like make little magnets on, put in a refrigerator.
Yeah.
Something.
So
I'm just not crafty,
Annie said, as a former cast member who did a little pin trading while at work, but had zero pin knowledge, sometimes the cast member doesn't know the pin is a fake, and they will get reprimanded for not checking before a trade. Oh.
That's too bad.
Yeah, that's so sad. Oh, hi, Nate from Paging Mr. Morrow. He says, I'm learning so much about pins right now. It's blowing my mind. Nate, you really need to get into pin trading. Like,
that's awesome.
I don't know. Yeah.
Very cool.
And this is the perfect stream for anyone that's trying to get into pin trading. So I think it's a good segue to talk about limited edition pins, limited release pins, open edition pins. There's mystery pins that we talked about, and then also hidden Mickey pins. So take your pick of whatever one you want to talk about first. Let's
start from OE and make our way work our way up.
Perfect.
So I have a couple here I brought to my desk here for this stream.
I'm going to present you on this.
Okay, cool. So I have one here. It's just an open edition pin. This right here is a boardwalk pin featuring Mickey and Minnie. Pretty nice. Pin on pin design there, so that's cool. But yeah, this is just a regular open edition pin. Basically, open edition pins are they start at $9.99 and they can go up to $12.99, $14.99. Depending on how many elements they have on it. If they have pin-on-pin design or any jewels, elements, anything special, fancy to it. And these are refreshed at the parks usually every few years. So for the resorts, for example, these ones, every 2 to 3 years, you'll get a new resort pin. So that's pretty cool. And it's the same for characters too, like Wally or 101 Dalmatians, Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, any of those, they get refreshed every so often. So open edition pins, they're also called rack pins, so yeah, they're the most basic pin and great for getting into the hobby with starting out with those first. Should we talk about hidden Mickey pins too? I grabbed one.
Yeah,
that's just a whole other animal, I feel like.
I feel like they're the most interesting kind of pins to trade for, because I don't know if you want to explain like how. Yeah, I'll just leave it to you.
Yeah. Okay. And I could probably say something here that not too many people know about yet. I think I can say it. Some people already know about it. I'll just say it, whatever.
Okay.
So first, hidden Mickey pins. These are actually the most basic pins. So it starts with hidden Mickey, then it goes to open editions. But back in the day, these were called cast lanyard series. They could only be found on cast member lanyards. So a guest had to go up to a cast member, trade one of their pins, and they would get one of these. They release in waves, usually twice a year. It's been a little wonky the past few years.
Yeah.
Like 1 year, there weren't any new hidden Mickey pins. And then I think, was it last year? There was 3 waves, A, B, and C waves. So there was a lot more. And then I heard they were supposed to switch to quarterly. So 4 waves per year. But yeah, these come in a little series. They're called hidden Mickey pins because there's a little silver hidden Mickey there at the bottom. And there's just a bunch of different series you can collect. This right here I'm holding up is a Stitch Magic Band pin. And it was from a Magic Band series at Walt Disney World. So yeah, I think most people, or some people know this right now, but hidden Mickey pins they're changing their name. So they're not going to be called hidden Mickey pins anymore. They're going to be called hidden Disney pins.
What?
Yeah. So I get a lot of the information from Disney. I work closely with Disney, so like I have the information for us, but I haven't released it yet because I was
hearing it here first.
Yeah, basically, yeah, pretty much. I mean, they did tell some guests at the last pin trading night. That's why I'm kind of saying it now. But I was waiting to kind of release it out to everyone because it was supposed to happen in July of this year, but I don't think that's going to be happening now because of the whole COVID-19 thing. Everything got pushed back. So that's why I've been kind of just sitting on it. So I don't know if they're going to come out this year yet or not. I think they'll wait for Disneyland to open up. I don't think they'll just release them at Walt Disney World. Okay. But yeah, they're going to be called Hidden Disney instead of Hidden Mickey. And the reason for that is because they're going to be incorporating all Disney properties. So that will include Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, regular Disney. So yeah, that's going to be the new hidden Mickeys, hidden Disney.
Awesome. Also, I want to quickly say, Mike Wheeler, he is this awesome person. He's a blind gentleman. And he said, thank you for the info. Knowing that the finished sides, they are supposed to be smooth is a good indication for me. So Mike, thank you so much for that super chat. And I'm so glad that that information is going to help now.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Very
okay.
Nice.
So we have our new hidden Disney pins.
Wow. Yep. Hidden Disney. Yeah. I already have the artwork for it and everything. I just haven't posted it yet.
So guys, make sure to head over to Ryan's Instagram and Twitter as well, because he posts, like, I know Donna and I were talking about new releases and where we find that information. Like, everything I get about Disney pins comes from the Instagram or the website. So go check those out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So next we'll get into, so we did Hidden Mickey, open editions, so we'll go into limited release next. We're kind of working our way from the most common to the most rare.
Awesome.
So I picked up one here. This is a limited release. This is for Flower and Garden Festival. There's one, Mickey there, Mickey and Friends Seed Company. Nice rose gold finish on this pin. But yeah, the reason I picked this one is because most, not all, but most limited release pins are usually event exclusive. There are a lot that come out to Shop Disney. Like, I think the most recent one was the rainbow pin set that came out to Shop Disney. That was a limited release, but most are event exclusive or based on a certain time of year.
Yep.
And the reason they're limited release is it's kind of in between an open edition and a limited edition. It's not limited enough to put a number on the back, but it's not, they're not going to continuously make it. They do a decent amount, usually anywhere from like 5,000 to 15,000 pins that they'll create. And then once those are gone, they're gone. That's why it's a limited release.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the next one. And then we get into the most rare, which are limited editions. And here I picked up one I have from my collection. This is a BB-8 pin.
What?
It's gorgeous. One of my favorites. This is a WDI pin. So it's a Walt Disney Imagineering pin. Limited edition of 300.
Wow.
So so whenever you get into limited edition pins, there's so many different categories you can get into. Like Disney parks usually vary from an LE 1000 to an LE 5000. Some of the more rare ones are WDI, so like Mickey's at Glendale releases. Yep. Those have a short, like a lower edition run. Studio Store Hollywood, so out in California, they have usually like 300 to 400 edition sizes. Mm-hmm. Disney Employee Center is kind of a new kid on the block. They recently came out within the past year or so. Beautiful pins, low edition sizes. Those are rare. Back in the day, it was Disney Auctions and Disney Shopping. Those were the rare ones. So things have evolved, but yeah, there's lots of different categories for limited edition pins.
Yeah. So do you have like a favorite pin that you just absolutely can't live without?
Yeah, I had that here as well.
Okay.
There's so many that I love. I picked two from my board because there's just so many pins.
There's too many to choose from.
There really is. And like I love jumbo pins too, but I didn't take any of those off the board. Like I'm like jumbo. I don't know why. I just freaking love huge pins.
I feel like the more I get more into Disney pin trading, I'm like, oh gosh, I just need all the jumbos.
Oh, I know. I hear you. They're just like so. I don't know. There's so much detail in them. They're intricate. Like I don't know. They're awesome. But this right here is probably my favorite pin of all time. I always gravitate back to this pin. It's Hollywood Tower Hotel. Wow. It has the stained glass logo here on the front. It's part of a storybook series. So it looks like a little book, The Twilight Zone, Tower of Terror. There was a bunch of pins in this series actually. And it's a limited edition of 750.
Wow.
And then it's a hinge pin, so you open it up, and on the inside is Goofy is a bellhop and Mickey checking into the hotel.
Oh my gosh.
So it's a gorgeous pin. I love it. Love it so much.
And those hinge pins are so cool. Like, I love any pin that moves, or yeah, I mean, pin on pin, you name it. We
Oh, so
have a couple questions from the chat as well.
yeah.
So Janie B says, how do you carry all of your pins into the park?
So I don't take too many with me into the park. I usually just put a few like hidden Mickey pins on a lanyard, or sometimes I'll take like a little pin folio or some little pin trading book, throw it in my backpack to take to the parks. So keep it simple.
If people don't know, if you've seen those people with like all out jean jacket, pins on everything, or a pin vest, they are very, very heavy. So,
oh yeah. And in the Florida heat, like, you don't want all that.
Yeah. And if anyone doesn't know what a pin folio is, it's like a small book that is specifically made for pin trading. So it has like a little felt insert in there, or whatever that material is. And so it's protecting to your pins, but it also has like it's like a crossbody bag kind of too, where you could carry it around with you.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of companies that make them. Like Disney makes their own little bags now. Box Lunch makes their own pin folio. Crack and Trade. So there's a bunch of there's a lot of different options out there.
Yeah. And Stacy asked, does Ryan know how they decide if a pin should have more than one pin back, or I'm assuming post? I've seen a few big ones that only have one when they should have at least two. And I know that you had a video about this, because I also got the same pin, the new Star Wars droid jumbo pins, where like BB-8 and R2-D2 only have one pin post.
Yep, exactly. I wish I don't know the answer to that. I wish I knew. I would think they would base it off of size and weight of the pin. Maybe sometimes they try to guess, and other times they don't get it accurate enough. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I actually got a question just right now before I forget on Instagram. Can you ask Ryan? It went away. If there is a place or a book that lists all of the current Disney pins ever made. Just listening to chat, I can't type right now. Something's been in his eye, so I'm so sorry. But that's a really good question.
Yeah, unfortunately there isn't. I know back in the day they did make catalogs that they would keep up with every single pin release, but those are long gone. They don't keep up with those catalogs anymore. Pin Picks used to be like the main database for everything, but even that now, the past few years, kind of isn't up to date. There are other websites that are trying to hop on board. I think Pin Trading Database is one of them, but again, like I don't think there's well over 100,000 pins. I don't think all of these sites have the capability yet to house all of those pins. My site, Disney Pins Blog, I started May 1st, 2013. So I think I have almost every single release from that date on. But like pin trading started in 99, 2000. So I don't have anything from then up until 2013. So yeah, I wish there was one place that had every single pin, but I don't think that exists.
I was just gonna say, like, to go to Disney Pins Blog or even to the Instagram, like you guys have pretty much like even new open edition pins, like all the new releases coming out, like it's pretty much cataloged in there. So if you guys are wondering, like over the last 7 years, it's on your site.
Yeah, yep. If you want to go to pin categories section, I have them all listed out by park or specific location, like Box Lunch or Shanghai. Then I also have them even broken down by month and year. So if you want to find a specific pin from, August of 2015, you could find it there.
So Donna said, does Ryan know what happened with this past Saturday Disney pin release? I was trying to get the castle, but it never showed up on there.
Yeah, I mentioned this on my podcast today, but I wish I had $1 for every time someone asked me about the castle. I could be retired right now. I seriously got pounded with questions on the castle release, like well over 200 questions on the Frozen Castle, like nonstop emails, website, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, like everywhere. But yeah, I thought it was going to be open, or I thought it was going to be released this past Saturday. It never came to be. I thought maybe they were going to push it until today at 10 a.m. Eastern time, but that didn't happen either. So I wish I don't know. I feel like they're honestly kind of laying low right now because of everything going on in the world. I think they're just trying to just lay low for a week. Because there weren't any releases last Thursday either.
Yeah, no, and I was surprised at that too, because I feel like I was surprised that they continued to do the releases on Shop Disney. I mean, I know that they probably had the pins made already and ready to go.
Yep.
But like, I feel like there's such an influx of people trying to get that stuff. Like, I know pretty much everything sells out like on Shop Disney almost immediately.
Yep.
And I haven't even attempted to get the castle pins. So good luck, everyone.
Well, I heard through the grapevine that they made a lot of them. Like,
okay.
There's a lot. They made a lot. So it shouldn't be that hard to get. The first one, I have it here on the floor, but that Cinderella Castle pin, I think it took a few hours before it sold out, but I feel like it's just going to keep getting more and more hype on it. The Frozen Arendelle one, I think it's going to go really, really fast.
This is a really good question. Do you think they're laying low as to not alert bot users so it doesn't interfere with the release?
Yeah, could be. Yeah. That's a good theory as well. Could be. And I also know there's a lot of other pins that are in the pipeline that haven't been released yet. Like, people got so upset whenever Shop Disney released the Father's Day pin, but not the Mother's Day pin. I don't know why they did that, but there is a Mother's Day pin. Like, I know 100% for a fact there is one. Disney created one, but they didn't release it yet. I don't know why. I'm not sure.
That is interesting. I didn't even think about that. And I mean, there's so much going on in the world right now. I feel like that is probably the least of our worries. But hopefully there will be a Father's Day pin being released. I don't know. But
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. In other news, there are things that are called pin trading events. So I don't know if you want to briefly touch on it. I've only been to one pin trading event, so I'm sure you know so much more than I do when it comes to pin trading events. But if you want to explain what it is, like, I know, you have to pay, what is it in Disney? It's 15, in Orlando, it's $15, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
In California, it's 20. Yep.
Yeah.
Those are pin trading nights. Yeah. So there's a lot of different pin events out there. There's a bunch of different types of pin events. There are some that they're put on by Disney, and then others which are a lot more that are just fans creating their own events all around the United States or around the world. I try to list them all out at DisneyPins blog/events, so you can find them all in there. But well, right now most of the events are canceled because of the virus. But we'll talk about the specific ones for Disney, which those are called Pin Trading Night. They happen every single quarter at Disneyland and Walt Disney World. They usually have a theme, a collection of pins that release with them. Which, yep, there you go, the Little Mermaid. It's usually based on a movie anniversary. Like, I'm sure some of you guys figured out, but the Lady and the Tramp 65th anniversary pins that released on Shop Disney, that was supposed to be for the May Pin Trading Night, and that never happened. So I think they're pretty cheap to get in, $15-20. Go in, you can do a little RSP, random selection process, pick up your pins, which you technically don't even have to do that for the pin trading night events, just because there's not many people that, well, there's a decent amount of people that attend them, but they cap it. It's usually around like 500-600 people, and the edition sizes are much greater for the pin. So you can just buy the pins once you're in there, and it's mainly just an event to go and pin trade with other guests. So yeah, you can take your pin books and trade away. So it's fun. Usually on a Thursday night, a few hours. Coronado Springs here in Florida, Disneyland usually has, they switch off between their parks, Disneyland and California Adventure out there. But yeah, those are the quarterly events. And then once a year, they have the big pin event, which is always here in Florida at Epcot. It's at the Convention Center at Epcot. And that one brings in about 1,200 people, I think. Much bigger event. It's a multi-day event. They release a slew of pins for limited edition pins, all themed. Every single year is a different theme. I've been attending since 2013 when it was 13 Reflections of Evil. So yeah, it's always a different theme. This year is celebrating 20 years of Disney pin trading. That's another question I'm getting a lot.
Mhm.
Is if they're going to have the event. I wish I knew. Like, I really did. I don't have
Right,
any.
you don't know everything? Come on.
Yeah, I don't have any answers on that. All I know is like Disney's working on it. Like, I don't. I mean, I wish they would just tell us if it's going to happen or not.
Yeah.
I hope so, but
So
yeah.
Amy had a question here. How do you find out about the pin trading nights? And I know I personally find out through this guy here. So
Yeah, a lot of times Disney just lets me know, so I can blog about it and put it up. Other times I'll find it just on Disney's website. It's like they have their events, their merchandise events site. It's kind of hard to get to, honestly. I always have to Google it to find it, but they'll post it on there. So either Disney lets me know and I help them advertise it, or I'll just find it on their merchandise website.
And Kelly said he's learning so much. He had no idea. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, I feel like there's so much stuff that people don't know about Disney pin trading, or if they're new.
It's a big hobby.
Yeah, and I feel like more and more people are like just continuing to get into it. And I know that there's people like, you know, I didn't, I have a box set from 1996 before like pin trading like became a thing. And then I have pins from, you know, the parks from when I was a kid, but I never really found out that you could like actually trade pins until like much, much later in life. And so I think now that it's becoming bigger and bigger and more people are finding out about it, it just continues to get more fun. So yeah.
For sure, definitely.
So the one thing that I was very interested in was, especially like I said, you were going through a big move. How do you store your pins and how do you display them?
So, like, I'm in the process of changing this. Right now, they're all on cork boards. I pretty much brought only the ones down to Florida that I were like my main collections, ones I really like. I still have some back in Pittsburgh, but like, so like I have a store as well on Disney Pins blog. All that inventory is still up in Pittsburgh.
Okay. Oh, I don't hear you anymore, Ryan. I don't know if that's just me. Let's see. Okay, it's not just me. Okay, no one can hear you right now. So if I don't, can you hear us? I was like, maybe it's just my screen. So a few people said that they can't hear you, which is you. Okay, you guys hear me. We can't hear you. And guys, sometimes, you know, like we say a lot, this is live, so we never know what's going to happen. Oh, I can hear you again. Sometimes. Oh, okay.
Do I still sound okay?
It's a little bit quieter, but we could still hear you, so that's okay. Okay. I don't even know what you were saying. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's going in and out now. Yeah, I think his AirPods died.
It keeps muting me for some reason.
Oh, I can hear you so much better now.
Okay. It's like automatically muting me for some reason. I don't know why.
Okay. Well, okay, it works now, so that's all good.
It's my first live stream, guys.
Yeah, guys, give them a break. Also, no one ever knows with Signal, everyone's using the internet, so.
I hope people can hear me now.
Yeah, I could definitely hear you. Yes, everyone's saying it's better. Ryan's back.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, this chat.
Repeat what you were saying.
What?
People were just saying repeat what you were saying. Oh, don't move. I know that you were talking about how you keep inventory back in Pennsylvania, and
yeah.
I think that's pretty much where you cut out.
Okay, yeah. So I basically brought just like my main collections down here to Florida, which is 8 pin boards. And like I want to. The 8 pin boards was getting like out of control, so I kind of want to just make one entire wall, like cork or foam, and just put them all up there.
Yeah.
The pin boards are just getting out of control. So I still do have some pins up in Pittsburgh, and like the store inventory is up there. But like my main collection, everything I brought down here. And I did a little vlog, a moving vlog on it, but I just stored the cork boards in the back of my car. I didn't want the movers to take them.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. So yeah, so like I just brought the 8 cork boards down here. Right now they're just laying over in a spare room on the floor. I need to figure out where to put them, or do something custom. I got a lot of great ideas on when I did the vlog on YouTube. A lot of people suggested some good things. So
some people have like some really creative ideas, and I think that's what I struggle with is like I have a lot of pins, but I don't have enough space right now to display them, and I really want some good ideas of how to display them. So if anyone in the chat has some good ideas too, I'm like totally willing to listen. I do have a couple actual big cork boards, but sometimes it's just like it's not the prettiest thing to look at. So I want a pretty board.
Where do you like mainly put yours, like in book or like pin books and stuff, or what?
I do have some of them in pin books. I do have some of them in my Pinfolio. I like to look at my pins though. So I don't know, like some of my jumbo ones I just sort of have displayed out. And I'm a big collector of The Nightmare Before Christmas and like Halloween pins. So
yeah.
It'll be really interesting to see what happens with the Halloween party. And I would absolutely love to get Halloween pins, but who knows? I have more themed boards for that. I have some fabric on the back of it, like Haunted Mansion fabric. Hey, great night, Isaac. Thanks for being here. Yeah, so I just feel like I need some good ideas of where to put them or how to hang them or how to display pins. So learning every day.
Yeah, for sure. That's the problem too with me is like I feel like I have too many interests and too many side collections, so it just gets out of control.
Yeah. And then I'll see like new pins come out and it won't even be for something that I collect, but I'll be like, wow, this is a really beautiful pin. I would really love to get it.
Oh, I know. I hear you.
Oh, Karen says, what about cork boards cut into shapes that match the sets? That's a really good idea.
Yeah, I like that. I know also, big custom boards.
Yeah, like Mickey Mouse heads or I've seen like people paint ones of like the Millennium Falcon or whatever it is. There are definitely a lot of custom ones that you can get. And I've seen other people do like they'll put frames on things and do the cork board. I've done cork board ears. Like there's so much stuff you can do.
Yeah. You mentioned the Halloween party. I really hope they have it.
Oh, I hope so too. So Mike Wheeler asked, what pin do you not have that you really want?
Oh God.
Everyone.
That's a tough question. There's 2 collections actually that I want to start like focusing on more, and that was Carousel Progress.
Oh. They're
hard pins to get. I do have a few. And Mochi from Big Hero 6, the cat.
Harry Baby.
Yeah, Harry Baby. The sleeping one, I think it was like the napping one from D23 Expo. That's expensive pin. That's hard to get.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of pins I want.
That's a really good question.
Yeah, you got to pace yourself,
Listen, I heard someone say it was like the gateway drug to Disney because once you get into Disney pin trading, you won't stop. Like anytime someone asks a question or they're like, hey, what pin should I start to collect? I'm like, listen, I just want you to understand, like, yes, Disney pin trading is so much fun, but I also want you to know that it's really expensive. So
yes, it is.
Yeah, it's an
and a lot of times too, like there's some collections I don't even like care too much about, but if a pin comes out, I'm like, oh, I need that. Like I don't need it, but I just hop on it like right away. Like I have a little Star Wars collection, and that Yoda pin that just came out for May the 4th be with you. Like I don't know, I had to get that one, but like I don't like my Star Wars collection isn't that big, so I don't know, it just gets out of control sometimes.
Yeah, I felt that way about all of my Star Wars pins right now. Like, oh, I'll just get the 2 jumbo pins, the droids, and I don't even really collect. It was because I went to Galaxy's Edge, and I was like, I need all of them. So, yeah, Hannah, it is addicting. So,
yeah, it is.
Just you wait. What about picture frames with the subject like the Haunted Mansion in the center with cork around the edge for the pins? I've done bigger versions of cork boards like that, but I know people do like to do like the frames and have them very organized.
Yep.
Donna says, does Ryan know about an older pin set that was given to cast members that was sponsored by Coca-Cola and has the most characters with the Coca-Cola logo? I have almost the whole set of those.
Yeah, I actually had it, and I sold it though.
Wow.
Yeah, I had it. It was in my store a couple of years ago.
Hmm.
Yeah, gorgeous set though. Very nice.
Yeah.
It's huge, massive.
I got to see some of Donna's collection. Like I said, she has like 4,000 pins, and she has the most beautiful framed, like Kiss the Girl jumbo pin, and oh, it's so beautiful. And yes, pins are a work of art, and I think that's why I really appreciate it.
Yeah, they're like little mini pieces of artwork. I love it.
100%. And what's really cool for the pin trading nights at Disney, like I went to the Up one with Corey and Haley, and then they had the artist there. So like you got to meet the artist. She signed my pins. We got to talk to her for like a good 5 minutes. And it was just so cool to be able to talk to someone who created this. Wait, Ariel pins? Yes, Patrick, they have a lot of Ariel pins. So you need to get on that.
Insane amount.
Yeah.
That one that just came out from Artland is gorgeous.
Yes. Oh,
so nice.
I feel like I can't look at pins sometimes because I'm like, oh, I just really want it.
Yeah. I have another pin here I want to show you guys real quick. I just got this as a gift, actually. My friend gave it to me. And it's another Hollywood Tower Hotel pin. This came in like a little, I don't know if it's hard to see there or not, but it came in a little like felt box. I think I might have showed it on a YouTube video before. Okay. I love this pin so much. It's got the car out front and the hotel in the background, the palm trees. Yeah, just a beautiful pin.
That's gorgeous. Oh my gosh.
I love this one. I think this is from 2004. Yeah, it's limited edition of 250 too. So that's
yeah. And we were just before we started the stream, we were talking about like because Patrick had a good question. Like what makes a really, really rare pin? So
yep, there's okay. So there's a couple factors there. One I would say is the main one is the edition size, and then second is the year it was produced. So like anything that's like I would say less than an LE like 500 and lower is a rare. That's a rare pin. LE 100s, LE 250s, those are definitely really super rare. And then when you get into the older ones that people just kind of hang on to in their collections, they aren't trading them, they aren't selling them. That's when the value goes up as well. So like that's why Disney auctions those pins. Most of them are LE 1000s, but they're very pricey pins just because they're older pins and people will just hang on to them. They aren't trading or selling them. And that's what's going to happen with a lot of these WDI pins. Wait 10 more years. The ones that are being released right now, the LE 300s, LE 400s, WDI, those ones are going to increase in value as well.
I think we talk a lot about investment for this, and I know one of my friends, Josh Triple P, talks about that, and it's the same thing like with Legos or anything that's really of any value. It does go up with age, so it's kind of like a small investment that you're making. And Patrick wants to know what your rarest pin is.
My rarest pin. I think it would probably be my most expensive pin too. That's the Maleficent Dragon's Gate pin. It's an Acme Super Jumbo LE 100. Comes in like a velvet case. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. I remember that one.
Huge. It's like this big, the purple dragon, all in glitter. Gorgeous pin. I've seen that one go for like $600 to $800 on eBay before. I think the price might have went down a little bit since then. It fluctuates, but that's probably my rarest, most expensive.
And that's such a beautiful pin. I feel like I just like the jumbo pins too. Like they're just exceptional. The detailing, everything. So that's pretty cool.
I feel like anytime a jumbo comes out, like I just need it.
I know. I don't know why. Like it's just a weird, I feel like I need all the jumbo pins. There's something more special about something being 2 inches big. So
even there was an event back in Florida, I think it was California last year. It was the Medieval Magic event. They released that super jumbo King Arthur, the Sword in the Stone pin. I don't even collect that, but like I had to have it. I still have it in my collection. It's just a gorgeous jumbo pin. It's awesome.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes like a pin will come out and I'll just be like, oh, I just need it. But there have been pins like when the 25th anniversary, the Lion King like collection came out and they had that jumbo pin. I needed that. Like I paid extra for that pin because it sold out like almost immediately. And Corey and Haley were already living down there at that point, so they were able to pick me up the mini jumbo. But when that pin came in the mail, the jumbo pin, I legitimately cried. I was just so.
That's a piece of art.
It really is. Yeah. So Stacy said, from Mike Wheeler, time for my final question of the night. Meg, do you have a Meg's magical moment for this week? I do. It is Ryan from the Shep family. Ironically, another Ryan.
Good name.
Ryan from the Shep family is just one of the funniest, most incredible people. And he is has been working so hard. So we try and pick at least one person to showcase every week, one of the subscribers or one of my friends. And yes, please go check out the Shep family. He's awesome. Does anyone in the chat have it's a great name, says James Ryan.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's very nice. That's very nice you do that.
Well, it wasn't even, I don't even know how it started, but there's just so many people, like, especially, this is why you need to start live streaming, because you make so many new friends in the live streaming community. So
that's cool. I'll have to dedicate time to it.
Yeah, definitely. And if you have any questions too.
Sure, thank you.
I don't know if anyone in the chat has any last minute questions for Ryan. You could always check out his Instagram, his YouTube channel, his Twitter, Facebook, literally so many different social media outlets. Yes, Kelly, it's a great community. But I don't know if anyone has a last minute question. Oh, Stacy said, I looked up the Jumbo Maleficent Dragon pin, and if I found the correct one, it's listed on eBay for $1,188.95.
Wow, it went up. Yeah, but the giant purple dragon in glitter.
Yeah.
It's a crazy pin.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what I'm talking about, like with investments. It is kind of an investment. It's a fun investment.
Yeah.
So I guess we could start to wrap it up. If anyone has any other questions, you guys can always send them my way, or I could pass them along to Ryan if you want to reach out to Ryan, because apparently now he's going to start live streaming, which is going to be awesome.
Maybe, we'll see.
Yeah. So I just want to say a huge thank you once again for being on here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I like jokingly just will call you like the god of pin trading. I know a lot of people will say that too. They think you know everything, which is, I mean, you know so much about Disney pins.
Yeah, I don't know everything, but I appreciate it.
You know a lot. And there's so many people that Steve said, I have invested a lot of money into pins. Yeah, I have too.
That's great.
And Patrick, thank you so much for that super chat, $4.99. Thank you so much for introducing Ryan to us. Great stream.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, thank you. Pension plans are invested in collectibles. Exactly.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. But thank you once again for being on here. I know that everyone in the community is so grateful for all that you do for Disney pins and Disney pin trading. And yes, Donna says, I agree. Ryan is my go-to for all things pins. Anytime like I see a new release, I'm like, I gotta go to Disney Pins blog. So
I try to stay up as much as I can, but yeah, I try my best.
You do a great job.
I really do appreciate you having me on and taking the time. This is cool. This is very nice of you.
Well, thank you for being on. And I don't know if you want to share anything that you have upcoming with the chat, if people should be on the lookout for anything.
Keep an eye out for that Disney Castle to come out soon.
Yeah.
I don't know. As far as pin releases, we're gonna stay on top of the hot things right now, which is the Disney Castle. Hopefully this week it'll come out. Maybe sometime this week or Saturday. The pin event, I'm trying to get as much information on that as I can. Hopefully I can share something with you guys soon on the pin event in August. Vlog is coming soon from the parks when they open up here in July.
Yeah.
Another question I'm getting about is pin traders at Disney Springs, whenever that's going to open up. I'll try to keep you guys posted on that. But like right now during this downtime, I mentioned this somewhere, I forget, but we're working on redesigning the entire Disney Pins blog website. So I think we're gonna be launching that this week.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. So
everyone be on the lookout for that.
Yeah. Hope you guys like it.
Yeah, and be sure to, like, Tina just posted his YouTube channel. Ryan just posted some awesome videos from Disney Springs. And like I said, he just moved down there. So expect to see a lot of Disney vlogs coming. So not that you didn't go enough before. You went like every month before.
Yeah. I have a problem.
I think we all really, really love Disney so much. So
yeah,
it's not bad. Well, thank you again for being here. I hope everyone in the chat learned a little bit more about Disney pin trading. If you have any more questions, just send them my way. And Kelly said, thanks, Meg and Ryan. Appreciate the sharing of knowledge. Very cool stuff. Now I'm worried Mama will start and I will be poorer.
Don't do that.
It happens. I mean, but thank you guys for being here. Thank you again, Ryan. And we will see you all real soon. Please be sure to check out Pepper Tree Villa. I think they go live right now. Oh, hey, Corey. Thanks for being here. We will see you guys all real soon. Bye.
Bye.